Welcome into the Hudson Sports Zone. Today, Friday, October 1st. I'm Jerry Hudson coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, I'm going to wrap up last night's Thursday night football game between the Cincinnati Bengals and those pesky Jacksonville Jaguars. Plus my predictions for this weekend's Week 4 NFL games. Let's get right to the wrap-up. Cincinnati and Jacksonville, last night was the tale of two halves. Cincinnati came out at home and looked terrible. Jacksonville came out and looked solid. Cincinnati was favored by 7.5. I took Cincinnati laying the points. Started off the week on a bad note with a loss, but I've got 15 more games to rebound this weekend. Jacksonville, what to say? Do I think Urban Meyer is going to work? I do. It's just going to be, will Urban stay the course? If Urban will stay the course, and with Trevor Lawrence by his side as his quarterback, who's got a lot of talent, is really starting to play better, this team will be fine. They are going to need a couple draft classes. I'm thinking 2, and then 2 off seasons with a free agent period. And then this team could really be a force to be reckoned with. I ask you, will Urban Meyer be patient? Will he stay the course? That's the big question. Joe Burrow wasn't real good in the first half. The whole Cincinnati team looked stagnant in the first half. But Joe Burrow definitely showed his maturity, showed his leadership, and Cincinnati pulled it out with that late field goal at the end. Okay, that's enough about the Thursday night game. Let's go right to my predictions for this weekend. Let's start with the New York Giants versus the New Orleans Saints. This will be the New Orleans' first game and first week that they've been back in New Orleans, and they're going to be playing in the Superdome. New Orleans is favored by 7, and I like New Orleans in this game. Daniel Jones and the Giants, they couldn't win games that they needed to at home. And quite frankly, right now, the Giants under Jason Garrett just aren't scoring enough points to beat the Saints on the road. Giants are scoring 14, 17, 21. You're not going to beat a New Orleans Saints team at home. I'm laying the 7. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. The Chiefs coming off a loss. The Chiefs are 1-2. Patrick Mahomes came out and said, hey, they definitely need to play better. They know it. He's challenging the whole locker room. The locker room is also challenging him. They will be better. I think Philly's going to try to play really hard, especially after losing on national television to those Dallas Cowboys in their division game last week. But Kansas City's just going to have too much. Take Kansas City -7. Houston versus Buffalo. The Houston Texans are getting 17 points. Yes, I said that. A 17-point spread in the NFL. Buffalo is favored by 17. I don't know what to do with this. Buffalo completely obliterated the Washington football team last week. Houston, I don't think is as good as Washington, but I just can't give up 17 points. I've got to take Houston here. Figure that, is Buffalo the much better team? Yeah, Josh Allen's going to throw all over them. I got to figure Houston's going to play hard. And I'm hoping they'll keep it within 17. So I'm taking Houston here. Let's go to Carolina versus Dallas. This could be the big game of the week. Dallas is 2-1 and favored by 4.5 at home over Carolina. Carolina doesn't have McCaffrey. That's a big loss. Carolina's going into Dallas. It's on the road. I've got to take Dallas here -4.5. For those of you that watched Dallas this year, the defense under Dan Quinn is faster. They're just a better defense, and they're quicker. They're not a step slow. They're in lockstep with the wide receivers. I think Dak Prescott right now is playing as good, if not a little bit better, than Sam Darnold. So I'm going to take Dallas in this game. The Cleveland Browns versus the Minnesota Vikings. This is a tough one for me. Cleveland -2 in Minnesota. I'm going to take Cleveland here. This is a tight one for me, though. Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota offense looked great last week, and that was without their starting running back. OBJ's back. I think that's a good thing for Baker. I think this comes down to, can Cleveland run the ball effectively against the Minnesota defense to eke out a win? I'm going to take Cleveland -2. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Miami Dolphins. It's another game that's really hard for me to pick. Miami's at home, -2. I'm going to take Miami here. I'm not super confident about this because I just don't believe in Jacoby Brissett. Is Carson Wentz or both of those ankles healthy enough to beat Miami on the road? And of course, Quentin Nelson is out, the best lineman, one of the 5 best linemen in the league, and definitely Indianapolis's best lineman and guard. With him out, I don't know that Indy can protect Carson Wentz enough of those 2 bad ankles against Miami's defense. Let's go to the Tennessee Titans versus the New York Jets. Tennessee Titans -6. I love this game. I love Tennessee -6 against the Jets. Tennessee's got a defense. Vrabel will have the boys ready to play. My biggest concern here is with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones out for Tennessee. They're pretty one-dimensional. Going to have to go to the tight ends, but they've got King Henry in the backfield. That's why I'm taking Tennessee comfortably, laying the -6, because I think King Henry will probably have 180 to 200 yards against the Jets defense. The Detroit Lions versus the Chicago Bears. Chicago's favored by 3. I don't know what Vegas sees here, favoring the Bears by 3. Maybe it's off of tradition. Maybe it's off the last 5 years. But I'm taking Detroit here. I'm taking Detroit on the road in Chicago, not only getting the 3, but to win outright. Detroit's played tough the last couple of weeks. Tough, tight, close games against quality teams like the Baltimore Ravens. Chicago doesn't even know they're going to start a quarterback. I got to take Detroit here in the upset win. Washington football team -1.5 versus the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I'm taking the Washington football team here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Vegas has it rated up, 1.5. I think it's going to be within a 3-point game. I'm taking Washington. I think they'll win by at least 3. I think Heineke will play as well as Matt Ryan does. I think Washington's defense will finally look like the defense of old against the hapless Atlanta Falcons offensive line. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are favored by 4.5. I expect this to be a very high-scoring game, possibly in the neighborhood of 31-24, 35-28. I'd like to pick Arizona here, but I just can't. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and the boys looked so good against Tampa Bay last week. I just got to think that they're going to continue to look good. They're at home. I've got to take the LA Rams against the Arizona Cardinals with this one. I think Kingsbury and Kyler are going to do everything they can, but without a healthy D-Hop, who knows? Take the Rams. The Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's at home, laying 3 points. I'm taking San Francisco here. Jimmy G's playing consistent. He's playing good. San Francisco's fairly healthy. I mean, every team's a little bit banged up. But I'm taking San Francisco here. 1, because they're at home. 2, because they played pretty well against Green Bay and a healthy, proficient Aaron Rodgers. And I'm also taking San Francisco here because Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks defense has been horrible in the second half the last couple of weeks. Seattle has leads. They look good going into halftime. They come out and get their doors blown off. I'm taking San Francisco -3. Which leads us over to those Green Bay Packers hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Green Bay's only favored by 6.5 here. Like it? I love it. Aaron Rodgers at home, early October game. Weather will still be kind against Pittsburgh, and the looks like 58-year-old Ben Roethlisberger as opposed to a 38-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. Pittsburgh doesn't have a quality running game. And hey, as long as Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are both on the field at the same time, I'm taking Green Bay -6.5. Baltimore versus Denver in Mile High. Baltimore's -1 versus those Denver Broncos that are currently undefeated. I'm taking Denver here. The home team, just about a pickup game. Yeah, the spread's -1. Taking Denver. Steady Teddy. He's been great. Vic Fangio's defense has been solid. Von Miller, why not? Take Denver here to win outright. Yeah, you're getting a point, but that shouldn't matter. So let's go to the Sunday night game. The Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into New England. Tampa Bay's favored by 7. I don't expect this game to be close. I think Brady might have a rough first series or 2, just dealing with the emotions of being cheered, being booed. We're not sure. Probably a lot more cheers than boos. But hey, he's going back home where he was for 20 years. He's going to come out of the visitor locker room. He's not going to park in his normal parking spot. There's going to be a lot of new to Tom Brady. And I think that might affect the first series or two. But Tampa Bay is clearly a more talented team than New England. And Tom Brady will continue to win the divorce with Belichick. Take Tampa Bay -7. To the Monday Night Football game with the undefeated Las Vegas Raiders playing the very talented Justin Herbert-led Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3, but I'm taking the Raiders here. Derek Carr under John Gruden, this year they seem to be speaking the same language. Carr's throwing for an average of 400 yards a game. Carr looks confident. Gruden and him, like I said, look like they're on the same page. And I think the Raiders go to 4-0 because of their improved defense. Plus, they can block some people. The Chargers, I think this comes down to another heartbreaker. I think it's a 3-point game either way. Of course, I'm leaning the Raiders' way. Not because not because they're the hometown team, but I think that the Raiders have better coaching than the Chargers. Even though I was very happy that the Chargers went for it on 4th and 9 last week to go ahead and close out the Chiefs so Mahomes didn't go down and beat them, I wasn't happy with the clock management by the Chargers. I think that comes back to bite them this week. Gruden, better coach. All right, so my top 5 confident picks are Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the LA Rams, the Tennessee Titans, and the Kansas City Chiefs. And my most confident pick of the week are those Kansas City Chiefs. I expect Mahomes and the boys, and Andy Reid, if he's back on the sidelines, to just obliterate the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they'll win by 21, maybe 24 points, embarrass them bad. I think Kansas City's defense is really going to make Jalen Hurts look like the first and second year player that he is. All right, everybody out there listening, all the Hudson Sports Zone fans, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be coming back at you on Monday with a recap of how things looked for my Sunday picks and my thoughts on all the games. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.